Have you ever looked online and you've seen a home that says priced below appraisal value, like in bold letters, and that's the first thing you see in the description? What's going on with that? I mean, if it's under appraisal value, shouldn't the house have sold already? Where are all the people coming in with my offers? That's what I want to share with you today. Right? There is a difference between appraisal value and market value. Appraisers are focused on appraisal value. Professional realtors, when they do a good job in their market analysis, are looking at market value. And a lot of times, you get a house pending, the appraisal is done for the lender, and the numbers are really close or they're exactly where they need to be. So a lot of times they do match, but yet there's plenty of times when they don't. So this is how to determine the difference and where you, as a buyer or a seller, can potentially pick up a good deal. So let's focus on appraisals first. All right, appraisals are generally looking backwards. Now, I know a lot of great appraisers. They've helped me in my career in terms of how to mathematically do adjustments and things like that. It's great. There's some appraisers that I call on a regular basis if I need some advice. Yet it is backwards looking. What has sold up to 6 months ago, even to the point of even longer than 6 months ago, if there's not the proper match, comparable match, similar size and location and age. They might go 6 to 12 months in the past. I've even seen an appraisal done for a buyer where the appraiser used an expired listing, a home that didn't sell, to help validate the price of the home being bought. And that was out of sight. So they are backwards looking and not paying attention as much as to what is going on today in today's market. In other words, today's market being what's for sale and what's pending. Appraisals are also looking at, in terms of the value, not so much the sizzle, but the stake. All right, if it has new windows, if it has a newer roof, if it has updated wiring and plumbing, and I'm talking about pipes, not faucets. The sizzle has a little play in it, but to really add value, you are doing things like those more expensive things that as a homeowner, you're not really going to make all your money back on the new AC system with the electrostatic filter and the infrared thing. It's nice to have. It's an emotional appeal for a buyer, but it doesn't add the value. So in summary on appraisals, they're backwards looking at what happened in the past, and it's focused more on the stake than the sizzle. So a market analysis done by a professional realtor is different, right? That is looking at, yes, in part what happened in the past, but a good market analysis is also sharing with you what is going on today. In other words, the competition. You as a seller are selling your house. You're going up against all the other homes that have a similar size and price and location as what you have. So the more competition you have, then that affects your ability to sell it, the speed, and your price. Easy. If there's 100 homes that are like yours for sale, buyers have more to choose from. If there's 5 homes of like yours for sale, buyers only have 5 to choose from. That's that old law of supply and demand. If there's more supply, demand will be low, and that forces prices down. So think of market analysis, the more competition, it pushes your price down. Another good indicator in a great market analysis, I have to say, I think our team does a great job with the market analysis. What's pending? All right, pending is not only a sign of the competition, but what's the demand today? If we have 50 homes and there's 25 of them are pending sales, that means half the inventory is a pending sale. That's a great percentage. I've seen pending ratios now 4%, 7%, depending on location and price point. And yes, we have seen good ones in the 30% range as well. So something to think about. Market analysis looks backwards, but also what is going on today and what is pending today, because that's an indication of competition and demand. And the other thing that market analyses look at, and this is more has to do with staging. Yeah, the stake, but it's the sizzle, right? It's so funny because over the years I've been in homes like they have a new roof, the AC's done, maybe they have some spray foam insulation in the attic, all these cool things. The windows are updated, and yet there's pink carpet in the living room, and people can't get over that. It's amazing. Like all the expensive stuff is done, but why don't I have the vinyl plank? Which of course is a smaller expense than the AC and the roof, etc. So people want to see the sizzle. They want to see, so it looks like if you're into the channel, HGTV. Make it look like HGTV as much as possible if you're a seller. Then what'll happen is when you go through inspections, you get the offer. That's the goal. You're beating out the competition. You get the offer, then you might have to negotiate things like a roof if it's older. That's kind of the way it works. Buyers are just kind of like that. So they believe what they see. Buyers believe what they see. So keep that in mind when you are a seller. Now, when you see that inevitable price below appraisal value online and the house has been sitting there, that means it's just overpriced. Doesn't matter what the appraisal says. And I guarantee you, if you're a buyer and that seller, if they have this appraisal and it's not selling, they're starting to realize that the appraisal value isn't really the real value. It's going to be worth what somebody's willing to pay for it. So this is your opportunity as a buyer to pick up a good sale. And we had an instance in the last week or so where a buyer was able to do this, where we represented the buyer and it's like, yeah, you may be thinking that that's the appraisal value, but that's not what it is. So we were able to pick up a good deal for that buyer. And then for a seller, all right, you don't have to invest the money on the appraisal because again, it's only looking what backwards is. Find yourself a great agent that's going to look at not only what happened in the past, but also what's going on today. What's the competition and what's the pendings look like? What's that pending ratio with homes that are similar to yours? And then you can price it accordingly to where the market is. You will sell it for actually more money, closer to your list price with fewer hassles and fewer headaches. I promise you, this is just, I've seen it. I've been doing this 21 years. I've seen it time and again. When you price it right and you pay attention to the competition, you're going to get a better offer. So, and of course, other things come into play like the staging. It has to look good and smell good still. You can do simple updates to your house without having to make it all HGTV, but simple things. Think kitchens and master baths still have sway over people's desire for a property. Curb appeal, even today, is still an important thing. People make an emotional judgment when they get up to your house based on the curb appeal. So I just want to share this with you. Appraisal value versus market value. If you have any questions, and if I wasn't totally clear, by all means, feel free to reach out to somebody on the team, to myself. We're happy to share that information with you. And thank you so much for tuning in. If you feel like it, just give it a thumbs up. You can always, of course, subscribe to the channel as well. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.